2026 is not coming to motivate you. It's coming to expose you. Not your intentions, not your potential, not your excuses, your results. Because time doesn't care what you meant to do. Time only shows what you actually did. Right now, there are two versions of you walking into 2026. One version stands taller, sharper, disciplined, built from mornings you didn't skip, work you did when no one was watching, promises you kept, especially the ones nobody could track but you. The other version, still explaining, still about to start, still blaming circumstances, still saying, next month will be different. And the scary part, both versions are being built today, not in January 2026, not when motivation hits, not when life feels easier, today. Every time you hit snooze, every time you scroll instead of study, every time you delay the uncomfortable work that would actually move you forward, you are casting a vote, and time is counting. 2026 will not be dramatic. There will be no announcement, no warning siren. It will just arrive, and suddenly you'll look around. Some people will have momentum, stronger bodies, stronger businesses, stronger minds, stronger discipline. Others will have the same complaints they had in 2024, the same unfinished plans, the same frustration, the same quiet regret. And the difference won't be talent. It will be repetition. Because time is a silent judge. It doesn't interrupt you when you waste a day. It doesn't argue when you rationalize laziness. It doesn't correct you when you choose comfort over growth. It just records. And then it reveals. You think skipping one workout doesn't matter. You think one distracted day doesn't matter. You think one postponed goal doesn't matter. But time stacks everything. Small discipline compounds. Small neglect compounds too. By 2026, the gap will be visible. The discipline will not need to speak loudly. Their results will speak. The distracted will try to explain. But explanations don't compete with evidence. And here's the uncomfortable truth. 2026 is already forming around your current standards. If your standards are low, 2026 will show it. If your standards are high, 2026 will reward it. Not because the universe is magical, but because consistency is mathematical. Every day you either reinforce the identity of someone serious, or you reinforce the identity of someone who talks. You cannot hide from that. You can hide from people. You can hide from social media. You can even hide from your own reflection for a while. But you cannot hide from time. It will bring everything to the surface. So when 2026 arrives, the question won't be, did you have potential? The question will be, did you execute? Did you build discipline when motivation faded? Did you improve when no one applauded? Did you stay focused when distractions were easier? Because serious people don't become serious in the future. They prove it daily, right now, quietly. You are deciding which version of yourself walks into 2026, the prepared one or the exposed one. And if 2026 will reveal the truth, then the real question becomes, what are your daily actions quietly preparing you for right now? You're not lazy, you're busy. That's the problem, because being busy feels productive. It feels responsible. It feels justified. It feels like you're doing something. But motion is not progress. Answering emails isn't the same as building a skill. Scrolling through educational content isn't the same as studying. Talking about ideas isn't the same as executing them. And most people hide inside busyness because it protects them from discomfort. Think about your day. How much of it is real growth? And how much of it is maintenance, distraction, noise? You wake up, check your phone, reply to messages, watch a few videos, maybe go to work, handle tasks, complain about being tired, promise to focus tomorrow. You collapse at night thinking, I did a lot today. But did you move forward? Or did you just stay occupied? Busyness is dangerous because it gives you emotional relief without real progress. You feel productive, so you don't feel guilty. But you're not transforming, you're just circulating. Serious people don't confuse activity with advancement. They ask harder questions. Did I improve a valuable skill today? Did I strengthen my discipline? Did I do something uncomfortable that expands my future? If the answer is no, they don't celebrate being busy, they adjust. The illusion of busyness is built on safe tasks. Organizing, planning endlessly, researching forever, tweaking small details. all while avoiding the one thing that actually matters: the hard call, the difficult workout, the deep work session, the risk of being judged, the possibility of failure. Staying busy lets you say, I'm trying. But trying and transforming are not the same. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Some people stay busy because if they slow down, they would have to face reality. They would have to admit they're not practicing consistently. They're not pushing their limits. They're not building anything measurable. They're just filling time. Distraction has evolved. It's no longer just entertainment. It's productive distraction. Podcasts you never apply. Courses you never finish. Notes you never execute. Plans you never launch. It feels intelligent. It feels ambitious. But 2026 won't measure how informed you were. It will measure what you built. There's a difference between consuming and creating, between organizing and executing, between talking about the gym and training in the gym, between dreaming about a business and selling something. Busy people protect their ego. Serious people risk it. Busy people say, I had no time. Serious people say, I made time. Look closely at your routine. Are you exhausted because you're growing or because you're scattered? Growth requires focus. Business thrives on fragmentation. If your attention is constantly divided, your results will be divided too. And when 2026 arrives, you won't be able to say, but I was busy. Time doesn't reward effort that didn't compound. It rewards leverage. It rewards depth. It rewards repetition in the right direction. The person who practices one skill intensely for 2 years will outpace the person who dabbles in 10. The person who commits to a structured plan will outperform the one who constantly stays active. Busyness keeps you comfortable. Seriousness makes you uncomfortable on purpose. Because deep down, you already know the difference. You know which tasks move the needle. You also know which tasks are safe substitutes. And every day you choose substitutes, you delay the version of yourself you claim you want to become. So the real question isn't, are you busy? The real question is, are you building? Because once the illusion of busyness is broken, something uncomfortable becomes clear. There is a psychological divide between those who are serious and those who only talk about success. Everyone says they want success. Very few decide to become the person who earns it. That's the gap. Not intelligence, not opportunity, not even talent. Identity. Talkers are attached to the idea of success. Builders are attached to the process. Talkers love announcing goals. Builders love executing plans. Talkers feel progress when they speak. Builders only feel progress when they finish. And the difference is subtle at first. Both read books, both watch content, both set goals in January, both feel motivated in moments. But when motivation fades, and it always fades, the split becomes obvious. Talkers negotiate with discomfort. Builders expect it. When it's cold outside, the talker says, I'll start tomorrow. The builder trains anyway. When results are slow, the talker says, maybe this isn't for me. The builder says, good. This is where most people quit. When nobody notices their effort, the talker loses energy. The builder becomes even more focused. Because builders understand something talkers don't. Seriousness is private. It's not loud. It's not posted daily. It's not constantly explained. It's proven in repetition. The mindset gap shows up in ordinary days, on boring Tuesdays, on quiet Wednesday nights, on weekends when distractions are louder than discipline. Talkers are emotional. If they feel inspired, they act. If they feel tired, they pause. If they feel uncertain, they hesitate. Builders are structural. They act because it's scheduled. They act because it's committed. They act because they decided, not because they feel like it. And that consistency compounds. Not dramatically at first, silently. A talker might work intensely for 2 weeks, then disappear for 3. A builder works steadily for months. No drama, no announcements, no excuses. Guess who 2026 rewards? The talker is addicted to potential. They say, I could be great if I really tried. The builder is addicted to progress. They say, I will improve 1% today. Talkers protect their image. They avoid situations where they might look inexperienced. They avoid starting small. They avoid being judged. Builders protect their standards. They don't care if they look new. They don't care if progress is slow. They don't care if applause is absent. They care about momentum. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can't talk your way into a new identity. You have to behave your way into it. Seriousness is measured by sacrifice. What did you give up? Comfort? Sleep? Distractions? Short-term pleasure? Or did you try to keep everything and expect transformation too? Builders understand trade-offs. If they want strength, they trade comfort. If they want mastery, they trade convenience. If they want growth, they trade ego. Talkers want results without identity change. Builders become different people. And that's why, when time passes, the results look unfair. But they're not. They are the outcome of repeated unseen decisions. The early alarms no one witnessed. The practice sessions nobody applauded. The habits nobody tracked. Talkers chase visible moments. Builders win invisible days. By the time 2026 arrives, the gap won't feel small anymore. It will feel obvious. One person will say, "How did you grow so much?" The other will think, "You weren't watching." Because seriousness isn't declared. It's demonstrated. Quietly. Consistently. Relentlessly. And once you truly understand the mindset gap between talkers and builders, you realize something powerful. Time doesn't create exposure. It magnifies what was already happening daily, which means the small commitments you make today are not small at all. They are stacking. They are compounding. And eventually, they become undeniable. 2026 will not be shaped in one dramatic moment. It will be shaped in ordinary mornings, in quiet decisions, in small repetitions, in habits so simple, they almost feel insignificant. That's how separation is created, not in leaps, in layers. The compound effect of daily discipline is invisible at first. You wake up 1 hour earlier. Nothing changes immediately. You read 10 pages a day. No applause. You practice your craft for 45 focused minutes. No one notices. You skip distractions when everyone else indulges. It feels small. But small actions, repeated consistently, don't stay small. They accumulate. One early morning turns into 30. 30 turns into a new identity. A reader becomes knowledgeable. A beginner becomes skilled. A distracted person becomes focused. Discipline compounds the way interest does. You don't see growth on day one. You barely notice it month one. But by year two, the difference is undeniable. Most people underestimate the power of boring consistency. They look for breakthroughs. They wait for clarity. They wait for motivation. They wait for the right time. Serious people build anyway. They understand something powerful. The future is built through repetition, not intensity. Anyone can work hard for a week. Very few can stay disciplined for 500 ordinary days. And that's exactly why 2026 will expose people. Because the person who wakes up early 4 days a week for 2 years will not resemble the person who keeps negotiating with the alarm. The person who studies daily will not resemble the person who studies only under pressure. The person who protects their focus will not resemble the person who scrolls every spare minute. Habits don't just change results, they change identity. If you wake up early consistently, you begin to see yourself as disciplined. If you train regularly, you begin to see yourself as strong. If you build daily, you begin to see yourself as capable. Identity is shaped by evidence, and daily discipline creates evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you reinforce trust. Every time you break it, you weaken it. Over time, that self-trust becomes your foundation. Some people in 2026 will walk with quiet confidence, not because life was easy, but because they kept commitments when it was hard. That confidence will not come from motivation. It will come from accumulated proof. Proof that they showed up. Proof that they endured discomfort. Proof that they did the work when it was inconvenient. The compound effect also works in reverse. Sleeping in compounds. Excuses compound. Scrolling compounds. Avoidance compounds. One skipped workout feels harmless. 50 skipped workouts create weakness. One distracted evening feels normal. 300 distracted evenings create stagnation. You are always compounding something. Growth or regret. Discipline or delay. Momentum or mediocrity. There is no neutral. That's the part most people don't want to accept. Every day either sharpens you or softens you. Every decision either strengthens your standards or lowers them. The gap in 2026 will not be built from one heroic act. It will be built from 700 small ones. 700 times you chose focus over distraction. 700 times you chose learning over laziness. 700 times you chose long-term growth over short-term comfort. Or 700 times you didn't. And here's the empowering truth. You don't need a massive transformation tomorrow. You need structure today. Wake up at a set time. Train on scheduled days. Study within fixed hours. Track your progress. Remove predictable distractions. Make discipline automatic. When habits are structured, willpower becomes less necessary. When routines are consistent, identity strengthens. And once identity shifts, behavior follows naturally. The disciplined person doesn't debate workouts. The focused person doesn't argue with study time. The serious person doesn't negotiate with excuses. They already decided who they are. And that's why 2026 won't surprise them. It will simply reflect them. Because growth isn't dramatic. It's mathematical. Repeat the right actions long enough, and the outcome becomes inevitable. Ignore them long enough, and stagnation becomes inevitable. With the mechanics of growth understood, one question becomes unavoidable. What identity are you building right now? Because 2026 is not waiting to judge you. It is quietly being constructed by the habits you repeat today. Close your eyes for a second and picture yourself at the end of 2026. Not the hopeful version, the real one, the version shaped by what you did or didn't do, starting today. That future version of you is not imaginary. They are being built right now, in this hour, in this decision, in this moment where you either act or delay again. And here's the uncomfortable thought. That future version is watching you, watching how you spend your mornings, watching how quickly you give into distraction, watching how you respond when things get hard. They don't care what you say you'll do next month. They care about what you do today because they will inherit it. If you procrastinate, they inherit pressure. If you stay inconsistent, they inherit instability. If you avoid growth, they inherit regret. But if you build discipline, they inherit confidence. If you practice daily, they inherit skill. If you endure discomfort, they inherit strength. The future you is either going to thank you or question you. Why didn't you start when you had time? Why did you waste energy on things that didn't matter? Why did you choose comfort over progress again and again? Or thank you for not quitting. Thank you for waking up early when it was hard. Thank you for staying focused when distractions were everywhere. Thank you for taking responsibility. 2026 will not feel emotional when it arrives. It will feel honest. You will look at your body, your bank account, your skills, your mindset, your discipline, and you will see evidence, not intentions, evidence. And in that moment, you won't be able to hide behind potential. You will meet the person you built. That's why seriousness is not something you announce. It's something you demonstrate, quietly, repeatedly, decisively. Serious people don't wait for perfect conditions. They act under imperfect ones. They don't need applause. They don't need constant validation. They don't need dramatic motivation. They need a decision, a firm one. The identity shift doesn't happen when 2026 arrives. It happens when you decide, I don't negotiate with my goals anymore. I don't identify as someone who almost tries. I build, even when it's boring, even when it's hard. Right now, you are writing a story that your future self will have to live inside. Make it a story of discipline. Make it a story of growth. Make it a story that feels earned. Because when 2026 arrives, it will not ask what you intended. It will show what you built. The question is simple. Will it expose your excuses or your discipline?